What's going on, guys? I'm Septile MC, and boy do I have a battle for you guys today. Post-narrated just because it was amazing and I was not recording. Although it's not on the replay viewer, and you guys are going to find out why towards the end of the battle. There's actually a twist at... I can't speak today for some reason, so I'm sorry if that bothers you guys. I don't give a fuck. There's a twist at the end of the battle that is gonna involve a question of the day, and you guys are gonna have to answer it in the comments. If you honestly want to skip to that, you can. I recommend you don't, because this is one of the most amazing battles I personally have. Well, not amazing in the sense of the predictions that happened. My opponent made amazing predictions, and in my opinion, I'm gonna sound really modest, but I made amazing predictions as well that led this to be extremely close. And between, he's an amazing player. I don't know if he's ever gonna see this, but this guy's an amazing player. And now let's go into the team. My team is a defensive Mantine with the defog, not specially defensive. I'm a defensive set just because I like it. It's actually surprisingly good. It's my defogger. It also has the haze. It's a pretty good check, not a counter, but a check to the feraligators that kind of run rampant in the tier. It's kind of like a death fodder to them, but I have the haze, and usually they don't predict me to have haze, so they save it late game, and then they try to sweep with it, and then they're hazed, and then I can take care of it from there on. So that's that. I have a Dragon Dancing Gator here just because it's probably the best thing in the tier. I have an AV Granbull because I don't like fighting types, and AV Granbull's actually pretty good. It also has the Intimidate, so it can take physical hits if necessary. And yeah, that's a pretty standard set. Then I have a Lipard, which is a Black Glasses set with the Encore, because of things like Omastar on this guy's team, where you can predict the Shell Smash and then you go for Encore and then they're fucked. Which I love doing. It's the best thing in the world. But I have Encore. I have 3 stab attacks. I have the Pursuit, I have the Knockoff, and the Sucker Punch. So it's a predicting game every single time it honestly comes in. So but it's fun to use. I really like it. It's actually really good, and that's that Pokemon. Next Pokemon is an Assault Vest Vileplume. Reason I have 2 Assault Vest users is because I don't have a special defensive wall. I used to on this team, but I've replaced with 2 AV users. Just have to switch a few Pokemon around. But in my opinion, it works better. I don't have rocks on this team, which is sort of unfortunate. My switch was a Seismitoad. I had a Seismitoad on this team. It wasn't really working out because I had 2 other water types. And I know keeping a Mantine over a Seismitoad is weird, but I really like Mantine on this team. I really do. So I have an AV Vileplume. It does a lot of work this battle, and you guys are going to see. And then I wanted to try this out. I used to have a Jinx in this spot, but now I have a Choice Specs. Oh my god, I forget it. Pyroar? Yeah, it's Pyroar. Choice Specs Pyroar, just because this thing hits like a truck, and nothing in the tier honestly wants to take its hits that well. My opponent's team has an Omastar, which obviously, judging by his team structure, how he already has a Pokemon to set up the rocks with, and he has all these walls, predicting it to be more of a late game Shell Smash sweeper. The Spiritomb can be a few things. It can be a defensive set, especially defensive set, or an offensive set. That's kind of every type of set you can run, but that's honestly what it could be. So I can't really predict what it is yet. He has a Cryogonal, which is one of 2 things, either the Life Orb set with max offense, or the special defensive set, or possibly even AV. I've seen once, but that's not as viable in my opinion. He has a Rhydon here, which I know he's gonna probably try to lead off with, and he's gonna go for his rocks. So this is his rocker, obviously. Maybe not max defense if the Spiritomb's defensive, or if the Vileplume's defensive. He has 4 things on his team that could be considered walls, so that's basically that. Vileplume can be anything. AV, it can be defensive, it can be special defensive, it can be just like a Sun Sweeper. It can be a lot of things, so it's kind of tricky to play around. And then the Magmortar is really one of 2-3 things. The Substitute set, the Choice Spec set or Scarfed, and then there is AV. AV is not as common, but it's a set. So I'll be pausing a lot of this battle because I'm going to explain my plays and what exactly happens. And let's get into that. So my first prediction is that he's going to go with the Rhydon and try to get up his rocks. I'm going to go with the Vileplume to counteract that. Now, on the first turn, I was looking at his team. I didn't do a slash ranking, but I was looking at his team and I'm like, this guy looks like he's a really good player, only judging by his team. So I'm going to switch out. Well, I'm not going to switch out, but he's gonna make a switch here. Obviously not gonna stay in, so I'm gonna make the play. Just gonna go for the Sludge Bomb. He goes into Vileplume. Now I know by that damage he is an especially defensive set. I also know that Vileplume can't touch Vileplume. So I know that I can stay in freely because I'm AV. I can take any of his hits, and I do run 20 investment in speed, I think, so I know I can outspeed him if he's not max speed. He goes into Cryogonal, so great play on his part. Now he's actually gonna make a double switch out into his Rhydon here, and now why I went into Gramble is because I'm AV. I know I can take any hit. He goes into the Rhydon, predicting Pyroar maybe to take the Ice Beam. That was my best guess, but this is not really too good for me still because he is going to get up his rocks. However, I'm going to switch out right into my Mantine as he does get up his rocks. Now here, I'm going to predict him to not want to take a Scald and predict him to go into anything else. Goes into Cryogonal. Now here, I know Cryogonals do carry the Freeze Dry, something like that. It's an attack that hits Water type moves for super effective damage. Quad 4, weak to it on my Mantine. It will die if it hits it. So I'm going to switch out here. I'm going to go into my Pyro, which is the only thing that can take a Freeze Dry safely. And he predicts my switch. I think he predicted my switch, just goes for a Toxic. Great play on his part. And now he's going to go into Rhydon. I'm going to predict this switch here because I knew he wouldn't want to take a Fire Blast. He could go either into Omastar or the Rhydon. And I'm going to go for an HP Grass, which is great for me because now this Rhydon here is basically dead. Now I know there's no reason for him to save the Rhydon. It's at 5% health. All my Pokemon outspeed him, and we'll just OHKO him from there. He's gonna make a good play here, and he's gonna T-Bolt me on my switch because I'm obviously not gonna stay in on a Focus Blast. He's gonna predict something to come in on the Focus Blast. I'm not gonna go into Vileplume because he can just go for a Fire Blast on the next turn. So I go into my Mantine. Now he makes a great play by going for T-Bolt. However, I was in the end just gonna sack my Mantine anyway. Looking at his team, it's not really useful for its job as a defensive wall. He has the Spiritomb, but I can handle that to an extent without Mantine, so I felt okay with sacking it off here. Now I'm just going to go into Granbull. I'm AV, I know it can take any hit, and I was thinking here, I can go for Earthquake on anything on his team. He's not going to switch into Cryogonal, so I go for it. Turns out his Vileplume is a defensive set. He can take me out with a Sludge, or not take me out, but he can do a lot with me with a Sludge Bomb, and I can't do anything to him. I'm going to switch into Vileplume, and now here I'm going to go for a Sludge Bomb, and I'm going to predict him to predict my switch, and I'm going to go for a Sludge Bomb again as he just recovers up, predicting my switch. And the reason why I was fishing for a poison, I'm not going to lie, I wanted to get it. Now here I'm going to predict him to go for an attacking move, and I'm going to go into Granbull. Now I think I make a double. No, I actually go for Play Rough here just to play it safe because I've been switching around a lot. I was using Play Rough and stuff. Now, here's where the issue comes in right here. The battle actually ends right here, guys. I made a switch out into my Liepard, predicting him to want to go out into Cryogonal, in my opinion, to take the Sludge Bomb. He actually goes out into Spiritomb, and then my mom calls me for dinner. So guys, who do you think would have won this battle? Question of the day. Who would have won? It's 5-5. We're both playing well. He was able to predict the switch into the Mantine. He was able to predict my switch into the Pyro and Toxicate. My Pokemon are getting weak. And I have a problem against the Spiritomb. The Omastar is a threat if it gets up a Shell Smash. My team compared to his, in my opinion, I was predicting him more. But team-wise, I think he has the advantage. Now that the Rhydon's gone, I can kind of go for fire moves with my Pyro, but he does have the Omastar. If I go for a Fire Blast, that's going to come in, try to Shell Smash. I do have the Light Part, but if he predicts my switch into Light Part, then I could have a problem. So that's the question of the day, guys. Who do you think would have won this battle, and why? What Pokemon is the win condition on either team, and stuff like that. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, please comment, like, rate, and subscribe. My name is Septile MC, and peace out.